got a huge box here to open up. Always exciting. It's a Tuesday, but it feels like an MCU Monday because I got this huge box in my opening knife at the ready. All right, we are live. What is up, Hacksters? It is a Tuesday. I've got a cool bunch of information for you about a new contest that we're running with NVIDIA called the AI at the Edge Challenge. This is all based around the Jetson Nano Developer Kit, which is a mini computer designed for running artificial intelligence inferencing. And the cool thing about this guy is that it's actually powerful enough to run several inferencing scripts, processes at the same time. So you can have multi-sensor streaming with real-time analysis and stuff like that. It's very cool. So we're going to open this up. You can get your own developer kit from Seed Studio for $99. We've got a bunch of old articles actually around from Alistair Allen and stuff on our blog if you're curious to learn more about this, but also they have a ton of educational materials that you can use to get ready for the contest. You're not required to take this, for example, which is linked at the bottom of the contest as well as in the description of this video. It's not required, but it could be really helpful if you haven't done this type of thing before. We'll go through all those resources in a second. For now, let's get this box open. Yes. It has a bunch of warnings on here, but that was really just so that people know that it's been sealed with pilfer-proof tape. Fortunately, it is all intact. The package has not been pilfered. I guess it lives up to its name. All right, let's get this out of its box. It's a pretty hefty box, but it's also very light. Yeah, there's a ton of packing material in here. The kit, as with the device itself, is actually fairly small. They were just being very careful with it. Thank you, NVIDIA. Whoop. Now, we've covered the Jetson Nano before, but this is the first time that we're seeing the whole beautiful packaging of it, and I'm really excited. What's some dramatic music? I need some dramatic music on cue here. All right, Jetson Nano Developer Kit. This is an interesting. What's with the trend in this packaging these days? I love it, but the Google AIY kits. And I think the particle kits as well had this type of packaging, and I love it. It's really gorgeous and functional and easy to open, except that I'm horrible with tape, so let's get this off. Anyway, what's on the outside here? We've got some barcodes with info about it, Jetson Nano Developer Kit, NVIDIA. I'm going to focus a little better on this for you. And for me, oh, too close. Oh. Just right. Okay, so product specifications. We've got the NVIDIA Maxwell GPU, quad-core ARM Cortex A57 processor, and 4 GB of LPDDR4 memory. Can we get this a little bit clearer? Contrast. Aha, that's pretty good. So, we've got a micro SD slot. You know what? I'm just going to open it up and we can compare it with this diagram. Oh! Upside down. One thing that comes with this is a paper stand to put it on. You've got your little introductory card. To get started, go to nvidia.com/jetsonnano-start. I tried going to this page before and I put an extra hyphen in there. Don't do that. It leads to a 404. You're going to load your NVIDIA software onto the SD card and put it in that slot. I wonder what this is about. Does this have to do with... Oh, I bet it's lead and mercury and cadmium and chromium and stuff. Interesting. So you can actually see what sorts of heavy metals are in here. Ha! Wow. Here's our little folding paper stand. I actually really like this box too. But how do we do this? I think I've done this once before. Yeah. Haha. Do that. And then what? This goes down and back. It goes into these tabs here, or the tabs go into the slots rather. Look how sturdy. I am into this whole new papercraft era of technology. I think it's great. Why 3D print something in plastic when you can just fold it? All right, so that goes, oh, that goes back in the box. I see. Nice. And then we have our little paper stand in its box. And now for the device itself. Observe precautions for handling electrostatic sensitive devices. I don't happen to have one of those little bracelets and stuff to ground me to the mat, but if I did, I would be putting it on right now. Best practices. Got a little caught on the bag there. As usual, the, what's an HDMI? No, what is that? Is that DVI? This guy. We've got 2 video outs. We've got 4 USB 3 ports. We've got Ethernet. This actually resembles strongly a Raspberry Pi. And you'll see also that it has the 40-pin Raspberry Pi connector on here. You've got a massive heatsink. You've got the Jetson Nano module underneath there, which slides in and screws down. So it's pretty sturdily connected, but also pretty easy to replace if you wanted to do that. This looks like a camera connector over here, or it's possible it could be a display. We're going to look at the actual diagram in a second. And we've got power through this barrel jack and a little USB micro connector. I think you can power it through here. And we'll get back to the contest info in just a second. So we've got our UART header here for serial communications, asynchronous receive and transmit. The micro SD card slot is, where is that? Oh yeah, it's right here. It's hard to see in there, but it's in there. Oh, that's a camera connector. Yeah, that's what I said. MIPI-CSI camera connector. We have a 4K capable HDMI and display port output. That's what that one on top is. It's display port. I always forget the ones I don't use as much. 5 volts DC power input through the barrel jack, and also micro USB power input over here. Gigabit Ethernet, gigabit Ethernet. 4 USB 3 ports, like I said, and then that Raspberry Pi connector. You know, I don't remember whether this is actually compatible with the Raspberry Pi. Let me compare real quick. I have a little bracelet, actually, that has the Raspberry Pi pinout on it. From modmypi.com. And these are labeled. So we've got... no, that doesn't look very compatible. These two here. Oh, wait, no. If we turn it this way. Aha! Yes. 5 volts, 3v3. The pin number is a little bit different, but the ground is in the same place. Got another ground over here. So that's... pardon me, let me actually show you what I'm doing. Yeah, there we go. So if you compare the pins, they're numbered a little bit differently, but they are... in essence, the same as a Raspberry Pi. And I can confirm that for you later on. Yeah, the grounds are all in the same place. Cool. Ooh. Yeah. Very nice. Again, this is a really handy little bracelet from modmypi.com. Love it. So let's get back to all the stuff we are promised in the contest, because I think that's pretty cool. So, first up, there's a ton of really cool prizes that you can win. And there's a bunch of different categories in which you can win those prizes. So the main 3 categories are autonomous machines and robotics. You've got intelligent video analytics and smart cities, and artificial intelligence of things, or AIoT. Now, there's a lot of ways that these could be used in kind of creepy ways, and I'm really excited to see other types of applications that go beyond your sort of obvious surveillance and advertising applications. You know, there's all kinds of other stuff that can be done with this. There are some really cool racing robots, for example, and some of that a lot of people are building for the DIY robocars or deep racing applications. For autonomous machines and robotics, that's kind of where this type of project would fall. But also, besides those applications, you can also do speech recognition, which I think is fascinating. And there's a ton that could be done with that. I, for example, would love to build a robot that can be spoken to in Elvish. And so it like only runs maybe when you say melon, the Elvish word for friend. Or like you have to, okay, rabbit hole. Anyway, category 1, autonomous machines and robotics. I had a couple, oh yeah, one of my ideas for this is like an assistive type device application. You could totally do cool stuff with that. They suggest delivery, maintenance, and language learning. Language learning, so cool. I keep getting advertised this robot on Instagram that will teach me Chinese, supposedly, and I have my doubts, but yeah. They talk about the NVIDIA Isaac platform, which is designed to help accelerate robot development. There's like 3 whole different tools that they recommend in this contest for use, and they all look pretty promising. Category 2, intelligent video analytics in smart cities. This is where I think there's a lot of potential for things like detecting where you could put green walls, or like where energy efficiency is probably low, and places you could put solar panels, or like gardens on roofs, or anything like that. I think there's a ton of potential there. Traffic monitoring, we'll get to an example of that in just a second to see, the efficiency and the infrastructure. That kind of stuff has a huge potential to positively impact the world. Yeah, like they say, video represents one of the richest sensors used, generating massive streams of data that need analysis, and the fact that this program can run on the edge and do multiple streams of inferencing at the same time, I think gives you a ton of power for that. And they're talking about using the NVIDIA DeepStream SDK for that. Third category, artificial intelligence of things, also fascinating. One of the most interesting uses for AI that I've seen is predictive maintenance. So sort of forecasting based on the behavior of objects, when they're going to need maintenance, when they're in danger of going offline, or breaking, which is really closely tied to this idea of the Internet of Things and having sort of sensors everywhere and distributed networks. That has a ton of power to positively impact the world as well, and I think that that's a great way to go with this. But, yeah, they mentioned AIoT pushes the computing, analysis, and decision-making to the location where it's most effective, while helping to address situations where latency or bandwidth are an issue. Smart homes and buildings, all kinds of options there. I'm here in San Francisco where there's a building that's sort of like sinking on one side, the Millennium Tower, and if I were there, like living there, I'd definitely want some more insight into what's going on. I mean, imagine if you put sensors in each of the apartments, like what you could do with that data. Those data, technically, but... and then there's also a social impact award. AI has this potential to be a tremendous force for good in the world, helping to solve some of the toughest challenges facing global societies. So this will be given to one project among the 3 other categories. This is not its own category, it's sort of like overlaid on top of all the others. So one of those projects, which clearly demonstrates that it's using AI to have a positive, long-term impact to people's lives and the environment around us. Wonderful. That winner will receive a trip to NVIDIA GTC 2020, a brand new NVIDIA Titan RTX, an NVIDIA Jetson AGX Xavier Development Kit, and $1,000 in public cloud compute credits. There's some ridiculous prizes, by the way. The other categories also have first, second, and third place prizes, and I don't want to read through all of this, but you can see it on the contest. Basically, pretty much everyone gets a trip to NVIDIA GTC 2020. I guess all the first place winners. Even the third place in this category gets an Acer Predator Helios 300 laptop, plus the Xavier kit, plus $250 in public cloud compute credits, which are going to go a long way for you. It's ridiculous. And those are like first, second, and third place for each of the three categories. Plus, there's the Social Impact Award, so pretty cool. There's a webinar that you can watch that's actually happening today, this morning. So I think that was actually the one that I already signed up for. In which case, if you sign up for that webinar, you'll actually still be able to watch the replay. So go follow that link if you want to watch the webinar. That's at the bottom here, underneath all the prizes. And above all the resources where you can find, more webinars, the forum, the download center. There's also this Getting Started with AI on Jetson Nano online course, which is about 8 hours and it's free. There's also a Hello AI World NVIDIA Jetson deploying deep learning tutorial on GitHub for doing inference on the Jetson. And for this one, actually, I was curious, so I looked this up. What's the difference between image recognition and object detection? Because those are two of the subjects covered. And so image recognition is basically you just have one thing, probably, in a picture. And you're trying to say, is it a cat? Is it a dog? Is it a computer? Is it an ice cream cone? Is it all four? And then you put a box around it and label it if you want to. And then object detection is for potentially multiple objects in the same scene. So image recognition, this is a picture of X. Object detection, there are X, Y, and Z objects in this frame. Helpful for me? You probably already know this. You can go to the Jetson Community Projects website where you'll find JetBot, the Jetson Nano-based robot that can do smart rolling around and completing race courses and stuff, or do sumo bots, detect other robots and go plow into them, or like try to complete a race course as fast as possible, detecting where the cones are and things like that. You can do real-time human pose estimation, all kinds of stuff. And just a few quick projects to look at here. For example, there's a face recognition software built with Python, and this is actually a doorbell that will not only detect people's faces, but it will also recognize each person's face and remember them and track how many times they've been to your door. So if you want to gather a lot of data real quick, I feel like Halloween is the perfect time to do this. Don't do that. Tracking children is creepy, but that kind of thing. No, there's all kinds of like positive applications of this technology, and it's a good example use case. Then also, oh yeah, there's a little comparison with the Raspberry Pi as well. There's another project here that is pretty cool. Home automation at a glance using AI glasses. This guy built a pair of sunglasses, which with like cardboard and hot glue and the computer in a box around his neck. But he combines object detection. So for example, it sees a lamp with that camera next to his head. Let me make sure my framing is still good. Good. So he has the camera here. He's looking at a lamp. It's like, that's a lamp. And then he's also trained it to recognize a wave of his hand. And so it puts those two together, and when it sees a lamp and a wave of his hand, it turns the lamp on or off. And the same thing with like a music device. You see the speaker, you wave your hand, it sees both of those at the same time, and it knows to turn the speaker on. It's crazy cool. Super cool. There's also Open Data Cam, the project explainer. Oh wait, no, yeah, the video is a project explainer, explaining the project of Open Data Cam, which is basically this concept of you can count items. The example that they give is, for example, train cars or bikes going past, pardon me, a static sensor. So you'll be able to count different types of traffic that are going past your Jetson Nano. And they have a really adorable little video for it. And a demo with this tablet. So they draw this line, and as the car moves across the line, it detects that it's a car. Very cool. The final example, oh yeah, and you can find that at move-lab.com/project/OpenDataCam, or just in the link at the description to this video. Finally, we have the TSM, or Temporal Shift Module, for efficient video understanding. What it does is gesture recognition. So this fellow is demonstrating it with a thumbs up, a thumbs down, and some other gestures that the Jetson sees. And at the bottom of that window, if you can see it, right there, it says projection, no gesture, zooming in, zooming out. And then there's thumbs up and thumbs down and stuff. Very cool. Finally, there's also a getting started with the Jetson Nano Developer Kit, which is pretty easy to find. And yeah, going back through here, I'd like to talk really quickly about the different SDKs here. So there's the Jetpack SDK, which is for the most comprehensive solution for building AI applications. It works with Linux and CUDA and has support for third-party platforms. Then you have DeepStream, the video analytics toolkit for video and images, like we were talking about a second ago, as well as multi-sensor processing. Then there's the Isaac SDK, which is for accelerating robot development. Oh, very cool. Oh yeah, an Isaac Sim. That's the other tab I pulled up. This is pretty ridiculous looking. This is a whole environment where you can simulate and run experiments in a simulated 3D environment. It's very cool. So you can test your things as though they were in the real world before they're even before you even deploy them. And then also, it looks like in this diagram here, you've got some SLAM, some simultaneous location and mapping. Let me see if I can zoom on here. Yeah. Very cool. So, oh, pardon me. So to get started, you can go ahead and buy the developer kit from Seed Studio. Again, that's $99. Go check out the prizes. Fabulous prizes to be won. Totaling about $100,000. It's ridiculous. Check out the resources that are available for you. Even if you're not interested in actually building one of these things, I think these educational resources are magnificent. And there's all kinds of different options to win as well. So that's the AI at the Edge challenge. The URL is really simple. It's just Hackster.io/contests/NVIDIA. Build something cool. I can't wait to see what comes out of this, as always. And I look forward to seeing who wins. Let's see if there's any comments before I wrap this up. As always, I can see your comments on Facebook, but not on YouTube while I'm live. Ernesto says, beautiful. I agree. It's awesome. Scott says, thanks for talking about all these things. Thank you for watching and listening. That goes for all of you. Have an awesome rest of your Tuesday, and I'll catch you soon. Hack on.